Parsha 101 and Haftarah 101. This week's Haftarah is for Parshas Bamidbar. Bamidbar means literally in the desert, and it's the first Parsha of the book of Bamidbar, the book of Numbers. And it's called the book of Numbers because this first section of the book of Numbers, part of the Parsha speaks about counting. They did a census of the Jewish people and where everybody camped and what the totals are, and how the Levites were counted separately than the rest of the Jewish people, etc. So the Haftarah for this week's Parsha comes from the prophets, the book of the prophets. It comes from Hosea. And this prophecy begins with speaking about there's going to come a time when the children of Israel are going to be as numerous as the sand of the seashore, which can't be counted or measured. And this is actually a prophecy that takes place after the split of the kingdom. So there's the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, the 10 northern tribes, the 2 southern tribes. And it starts in this positive way of how the kingdoms will unite, the nation will unite again, and they'll be so numerous, etc. And then it goes into kind of a whole rebuke about how the Jewish people acted like a harlot or like a prostitute, and they ran after these other people, saying like, oh, they're the ones who pay me, etc. And they turned away from God. And like the Jewish people will be like this scorned lover that all of a sudden when the lovers, they're going to abandon her, and all of a sudden she's like, wait, where's everything supposed to come from, etc. And God's not going to have mercy on them right away. He's going to, quote unquote, take her out to the desert. Then they're going to go into exile. Then eventually they will eventually remember him. And then they will turn to him again, and it'll be in a way of love, like God is our husband and we love him so much, etc. And then it ends off on a very positive note with lots of blessing of that negative things are not going to be in the world anymore, and I'm going to betroth you to me forever with righteousness and justice and kindness, etc. and betroth you to me with faith. This is God speaking to the Jewish people. So there's a lot of different ideas here, but just kind of a general ideas. We see that the book of Numbers, Parsha of Bamidbar, talks about counting. As in, if you could give something a count, that means I can measure it somehow. There's X amount of something. So that's finite in a way because there's a measurement to it. Versus the beginning of this Torah talks about infinity, because there's going to be so much there can't be counting. So what is it? Is it finite or infinity? Which one is it? And of course, that kind of introduces us and reminds us the general idea about how the world that we live in does have this 2 parts to it. So on the one hand, the world is God's world and God is infinite. At the same time, creation is finite. So we have this balance but at the same time, creation comes from God and the world is still within God. So we're still infinite. So infinite, finite, finite, infinite. But not just that, the world, God is not obvious within the world, within this finite, seemingly finite world. And we as finite human beings, well, we seem to be finite. And yet, through our actions in this world, doing actions that are of the infinite, so Torah mitzvos, this reveals the infinity within the world. So in many ways, we need the finite to reveal the infinity. And that's this week's Haftarah.